Good morning, everyone. A decidedly late morning. Oh well. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and folks, we are still having trouble with technology. May it burn in a fire. Now, folks, what am I talking about technology? Well, I've had issues all goddamn week with freaking technology, between work issues with their technology, between not even being able to use my YouTube studio correctly so that I could put the thumbnail I created for my JD versus AH video actually on there for when you click on my vids, to literally every time I jump on the screen with my screen sharing software, every time, even though I clicked previously on the page I wanted to go to in this freaking report, it once again took it back to the beginning and I had to wait for it to spin and regenerate itself. I'm sorry for the rant, but my god, kill it with fire. Just kill it with fire. Alright, technology rant over, folks. So, usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to see the link to this massive report. Lord help you. I hope you don't have the tech issues I've been having while you go through it. It's going to be right there in the description box, as well as the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including the massive archive on the subject matter by Autistic Hoya, also known as Lydia Brown. You are also going to find the templates, sign your name, click on your standard, end aversive therapies, and improper restraints in schools, folks. Also, you're going to see the change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition, because let's face it, folks, if we want to get rid of these assholes, if we want these kids safe, we're going to have to close them down. These people are too good at being able to get off by appeal. So let's just end it, folks. Let's go ahead and take them down, alright? Okay. Author disclaimer. When we are talking about the Judge Rotenberg Center, you are going to hear vivid descriptions of, as well as sometimes see, surveillance video footage clips of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have young children present, please, folks, use your headphones. Also, folks, obviously I'm having technology issues. I'm also on a awesome high right now because my bid for taking vacation time the week after this one has been approved. So if I babble or there's explicitives or I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so let's go back to where we left off yesterday. Latency. Now, folks, trigger warning. We are talking about the actual applications on vulnerable kids with disabilities of the GED device. The Graduated Electronic Accelerator is 15 milliamps for the GED 3A. The usual police stun gun is only 4 to 5 milliamps. The GED 4A is 45 milliamps. Let me say it again. A police stun gun is only 4 to 5. So, folks, you've been warned, but I do think you need to know about what's going on. Okay. Latency. Latency is the period of time that elapses from when a behavior is exhibited until the time the consequence is delivered. Each student's current recording sheet must list if the student does or does not have latency in his or her program. This is one of the most clinical and heartless statements I have seen. I mean, this whole entire report is completely heartless and soulless. But think about it. Well, whatever the program says, these are human beings, Judge, whether you like it or not. Moving on, folks. Consequences for all inappropriate behaviors should be delivered immediately. However, sometimes it may not be safe to do so, or the student may have disabled removed the device. The hell? Hey, Judge, maybe, just maybe consider about being more compassionate and concerned with the health of the student that is being tortured instead of the staff that is torturing them. Just this thought, this idea that I had, that maybe the judicial system should have more of a care for the victim instead of the abuser. I am getting so sick and tired of seeing it time and time again, folks, and not just in Massachusetts either. These people, the media, the judges, the whole damn system bends over backwards to care about the safety, the mental health. They bend over backwards, folks, when justifying the actions of abusers and torturers. Not just here at the JRC, but every time I see it in the news. Mother kills autistic child. Do I ever see any sympathy for the child? No. All I see is excuse after excuse after excuse that justifies the horrible actions that the parent felt they must take. Forget the fact that a child was murdered. Yeah, it's that kind of morning. No, we must bend over backwards and feel sympathetic and care about the safety and mental health of the people who are abusing and torturing us. But the world could give a damn about us who are the actual victims. After all, it's our fault for existing while being disabled, right? God. Moving on. Don't want disabled kids, you know what to do. Celibacy is a thing. Use protection. Just saying. Moving on. In this case, there are two options for staff. If the student has the cognitive ability to understand that his or her behavior was inappropriate after a time lapse, staff will have no more than 30 minutes to arrange a safe environment or place the device back on the student and deliver the consequence. Or the student does not have the cognitive ability to understand, and staff has no more than the time that it takes to physically contain the student and place the device back on the student, which would take no more than 5 minutes. Fuck you, Judge. Fuck you. Okay, why am I getting upset here? Do you understand that you being you is punishable? Do you understand that when you bat flap because that's what your mind tells you to do, when you show that kind of emotion through things that make we, the normal people, uncomfortable, you understand that you deserve to be tortured for that, right? Oh, you don't understand? Well, we're going to still do it to you anyways. No, Judge, I don't fucking understand. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you and everyone involved who thinks that we should just understand and accept being fucking tortured and abused by the schools, by messed up fucking prisons that call themselves schools like this place. By the courts, by the legislative system, by licensed professionals, by everyone who thinks it's goddamn okay to punish us for daring to be our authentic selves. You don't get away with this shit with any other minority group. Any other minority group. Without massive backlash. But it continues to be okay when it comes to disabled people. And it's bullshit. No, Judge, we don't fucking understand why we need to be punished for daring to live. Sorry, folks, I've been holding that in for a minute. I did warn you. Alright, pre-verification procedures. Unless otherwise specified in a student's program, all GED applications must be verified with another staff member at the time of the behavior occurs. Oh, Jesus Christ. I probably should have drank this before I started this. Sorry, guys. Not going to, yeah, we're still putting this up. Currently, a handful of JRC students have pre-verification procedures in their program descriptions. Oh, hold up. Wait, Judge. You are contradicting yourself. Again. I thought you said that pre-verification procedures were banned. We all remember this, right? From a few pages back. I thought pre-verification procedures were banned. And now you're turning around and saying that a handful of students have pre-verification procedures. God, you are so full of lies and you can't even seem to keep your own lies straight. Reminds me of another judge. Not naming any names. Nichols! Moving on. This means that the GED consequence may be administered immediately after a GED-approved behavior occurs, rather than after a staff has been able to verify the behavior, recording sheet, and sled with another staff member. Such procedures are only allowed by approval of the executive director and can only be used for students with specially trained one-to-one staff. So you gotta make sure that student has a professional that has experience in torture, because that makes it okay. God, can I get a little personal note? Every time I read this shit, it is a personal kick in the gut for me. Why? My dad's side of the family, when we did our ancestral tree years and years back, it was our family that helped build the city of Boston. It was our family that had quite a hand in the building of the East Coast as we know it today. It is a slap in the face. A slap in the face to know that a state that we had been involved in helping to actually build, to know that they treat human beings this way. It is a sucker punch to the gut. I'm just saying. But moving on. Okay. Oh, dear God, it gets worse. Delivery of GED consequence not on school premises. I'm going to force myself to read this here. At full program residents staffed with in-house monitors, will be treated with the GED at the residence and during transport to and from the residence in school. You never give them a break, do you? Treated, Judge? Treated? Tell me, if a kid has a behavior that's a neurotypical, and the parent turns around, calls off, and decks them in the fucking face, is that considered treatment for inappropriate behavior? I just thought I'd ask. If a residence is not staffed with a monitor, the GED sleds will be collected prior to the students loading the buses vans at the end of the school day and placed in a secure area until the students' arrival the next day. All students will be treated with the GED on field trips and doctor's appointments. Jesus Christ! And nobody ever reports this as abuse. You see what I mean? If a field trip or doctor's appointment originates from a residence without a monitor, staff must stop at the school to obtain a GED sled. Can I do one more? I wonder if I can do one more. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there, folks. I think I'm going to stop there for this morning. We got another video to do, and I'm probably going to need some time in between videos just to process this. One thing of note that I found very interesting. Once again, this judge contradicts themselves because I may not have photographic memory, but my cognitive abilities are definitely on the higher end of the operating scale, so to speak. And I remember them saying that pre-approved applications of the GED were banned. And then this judge then turns around, contradicts himself, and says, but for a handful of students. And I am supposing he did this as we are supposed to believe that these are the worst of the worst. Right, Judge? Just very, very interesting to find that out. That this judge and this school are corrupt. They're liars, but like all liars and corrupt, evil sons of bitches, they do, for anyone who wants to take a look at their horrible, horrible place, contradict themselves a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Also to note, the fact that these kids can't so much as even be able to go out on a field trip without being under threat. That definitely coincides with the things we have learned from Jennifer Masumba and the other victims that have spoken out since then. So what else have we learned? Latency. So what is latency? Latency is the how long between the quote-unquote behavior and the consequence. And of course, I went on a freaking rant because what is this judge actually wanting? Essentially, what everyone seems to want out of us, which is for us to mask. See, we're not allowed to be our real selves out in the world. See, everybody else is encouraged. Go out there. Be yourself. Don't apologize for who you are to anyone, except if you're disabled. See, for us to be accepted, We must suppress every single part of ourselves and what makes us up as an individual and pretend to be just like everyone else in order to, according to places like the JRC and according to practices like ABA, to not be someone deserving of punishment. We must also prove ourselves to be productive all the time so that we can prove our worth as individuals. See, normal neurotypical kids are not required to have to prove themselves every single day. They are allowed to just be kids. We are not. We are not. And I want you to think about that. Why do disabled people, whether through the JRC or through not quite as extreme other types of disabled kid education, why do we have to prove our worth every day in order to not get adversives, in order to be accepted? Whereas a neurotypical kid is just simply accepted by their own merits. And on those words, folks, I am going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. Feed that algorithm. Make me smile, folks. I do need something to cheer me up after all these issues with technology. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.